Day one.
Day one, raise the bar.
Welcome to Raise the Bar.
So we are here with my lovely wife, Marlene Green,
Hello.
and I am Brett Green, aka Dad Got Bars. And we've been having fun on Instagram,
Mhm.
TikTok, um, and we decided we want to give YouTube a shot. We want to do YouTube's fun because you can do more like long form. They can really get to know us a little bit better. And I wanted
Yeah.
to bring you into the mix because a lot of my following is female,
What up, ladies?
which makes sense based on the kind of content that I make. But I thought it would be fun to bring you in because like you're a girl's girl, you know what I
I
mean?
definitely am a girl's girl.
And I think that they would really like you a lot. And so
Well, thanks, babe. That's very nice of
I
you.
like you a lot.
You
So
know, not to set the bar high or anything here.
raise the bar.
Raise the
So
bar.
I'm gonna superimpose a little logo in the back. Probably that'd be cool. You see that logo? Um, so what we're doing is we just want to continue to have a conversation about parenting.
Yeah.
Again, we have a 4-year-old daughter and a 5-month-old son.
Hmm.
We don't act like we know all the things. We don't have all the answers.
No, no, no. Definitely
However, I think we're doing a really good job, especially with our oldest. She's a really good kid.
she's one of my favorite people in the whole
She's
world,
the best.
other than Ellington and you.
What we want to do is just talk a little bit about positive parenting,
Yeah.
gender norms. We're gonna watch some clips from the internet
Mhm.
and just kind of react to them. A
Yeah.
lot of them are about parenting, about kids, about being a mom or being a dad, and just kind of let y'all into our world just a little bit and kind of how our brains tick.
I think this is kind of what we do anyways, where we like are always, instead of like sending each other the videos like on Instagram, we're just gonna start sharing them with each other here
Yeah.
because
That's a good idea.
thanks.
It's like when you share reels with your
Yes,
with your
with your
spouse.
yes.
There's something to that. I like that.
I'm gonna kiss my brain because that's what we tell our daughter to do.
God, now I'm thinking the show shouldn't be called Raise the Bar. It should be called something more like that's really good. It should be something more like sharing. We'll come up with something like
All right,
sharing reels with the spouse or
maybe it's like a
whatever.
segment. Maybe it's like
There
a
you go.
segment
Okay,
of a thing because we
I
also
like
are gonna
that.
talk about like, I mean, I think you and I are very open about kind of our, I don't know, I'm an open book. I don't feel like there's anything kind of off limits. And I think that there are opportunities where we can also talk about relationships,
Yeah.
dating, marriage, or divorce. We both come from divorced parents.
Mhm.
I come from a more unique situation where my mom was a widow. My dad died when I was 2 and then remarried, and, you know, daddy issues, all the things.
No, you are a prime candidate for someone who should have daddy issues, and
Yeah.
and you don't. Um, Full disclosure, like she said, her dad passed away at a young age. She's experienced a lot of loss, mostly from men in your life.
Yeah.
And I have to commend you. I've always said
Mhm.
that. I'm like, if anybody could have daddy issues and be like, just hang their hat on and be like, yeah, sorry, I got dealt a crappy hand. It would be you, and you don't.
Thank you.
You never play like the victim card or anything like that. And
Well, I
think it's
appreciate that.
yeah.
You know,
What are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do?
you just keep pushing.
Got to keep on pushing.
Life is life.
All right. I want to start with a little segment. So, as we're recording this, I have a song coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this now, it comes out today. It comes out on Thursday, June 12th, and it's called "Cool Dad." And this is another like Father's Day anthem, dad banger. Last year for Father's Day, I did Millennial Dad.
Yes. Love
And
that song.
then this year is Cool Dad. And what's fun about this song is you've heard it a couple times.
Yeah, it's always in my head.
And the first time you heard it, I was in the studio with somebody else
Yeah.
playing it for him.
Yes.
And you were out at the table and you were like, wait a second, play that again?
Yeah.
Is that you?
It was so good. It was so good.
I think that's one of the.
It is good. When I heard it, it was incredible, but it's still amazing, especially with the video.
Well, the very first time you ever told me you liked the song of mine was Millennial Dad.
I did.
I remember I played it for you, and you were like, "Oh, this is really good."
Really good. I mean, you're really good at what you do, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's just so spot on.
But you did the same with Cool Dad, and you took it to another level. You're like, no, I really like this song. And so I decided to hire a videographer and do like a full music video. Took our daughter Eliana out of school to be in the music video with me for the day. Had such a blast shooting it. And we want to give the world premiere right here on YouTube.
Which I just want to say quickly, if you have not followed Brett since the very, very beginning, this is how it all kind of started. Was he just would do videos with Eliana, our daughter, and like things that she was into. Like if she was into The Lion King or whatever she was into, he would essentially make a song to do a video with her as something that they could like bond together. She'd come in the studio with him and like try to get on the track with little echoes.
She used to be so much more. She used to be so down to like get on the mic and do it.
A little harder.
But, you know,
that's okay.
It's a little phase, you know. Hopefully, if she wants to get back into it, cool. If she doesn't, I am moving a little bit away from having her so involved in the videos and the songs and everything, just because I get the sense that she's not as into it as she used to be, and I don't want to force her to do it.
No, absolutely not.
But she also knows. The other day, I asked her, I said, "What does Daddy do for work?" She said, "Daddy's a singer." And I was like, that's cool.
So cute.
But she also knows what rap is.
Yes, she does.
She has a little show she likes to watch, Alma's Way, where the girl is is a rapper. She lives in the Bronx, and
she loves that show.
So she knows what rap is, and she even raps sometimes.
Yes.
We should try to get her in here. I mean, she's obviously sleeping right now, but we should try to get her in sometime and see if she can do a little rap.
You are shooting for the moon.
A little 4-year-old rap. All right. Well, without further ado, let's jump into the first thing. So we're going to play this. We'll react to it and kind of watch it as you guys do as well. And then we can talk about it for a little bit. This is the world premiere of Cool Dad by Dad Got Bars.
Yeah, no, I'm a dad, but I'm not like the other dads, you know. I'm a cool dad.
Got a point.
I'm a cool dad, black and white Air Max, black hat to the back, make a living off rap. Yeah, cool dad, looking like a green flag. All the mamas at the park looking like, who's that? Cool dad was happening, bills paid from rapping. Hook the mic up when the kids down and napping. Always been the leader, now I'm following my passion. Is it rap, is it acting? Going forth and back and feel like Bo Jackson. Both lanes, no crashing. Got an Emmy-nom from that lights, camera, action. Never hung the plaque, I ain't worried about no past tense. Focused on the music game, respect and some traction. I tell myself, dad, stick to the plan. Calling heads or tails, you the captain of the fam. Give yourself grace, you're doing the best you can. But man, don't you dare buy that minivan. Why? Cause I'm a cool dad, black and white Air Max, black hat to the back, make a living off rap.
I'm all about
minivan. Cool dad, looking like a green flag. All the mamas at the park looking like, who's that? Took the kids to Anaheim, had to get the fast pass. Cooking up the dad rap, dripping on the backsplash. Flow so smooth, I don't even need a backtrack. I don't pack a strap, but I've been known to pack a backpack.
Get it, girl.
Pay attention, here's the cash app. Cards on the table and the dealer yelling blackjack. I'm the bell cow.
That's the best shot.
The kids want a sweet treat, they better pay that dad. I got the Mary mom screaming, single mom screaming. Deadbeat sleeping on me, told him keep dreaming. Dad's all that, no Kel, no Keenan. Mama call me Poppy, she Cupid in Puerto Rican. My kids are never gonna see the back of a school bus. Burmester speakers in the back of the black truck. Yeah, we the cool kids, but you can sit with us. Got 1 million views, but I need me $1 million. Cool dad. Say cool dad.
She's
it
just
never gets old seeing her face.
She's the best.
Oh man.
So like I say like, oh, I'm not really sure she's into it anymore. And then I see that and I'm like, no, she's still into it. She has so much fun. She has fun, and like
I also feel like it's like your guys' thing that you guys do.
Yeah, well she's always like, yeah, she knows like dad makes videos.
Dad makes videos.
But yeah, no, that's a fun one, and I'm really hoping for Father's Day that's like a song that wives and moms can like tag their husband, tag a cool dad, or tag your brother or your cousin or your friend or whoever, just like,
or your dad,
like exactly, like I don't know how many cool dads we got in the boomer generation, but there's probably a handful of them. And I feel like with June being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, there's a big emphasis right now being placed on like, the amount of men that are committing suicide every day in the world. And it's just, I just wanted to do one. I know I make a lot of music about dads who aren't stepping up and moms and how they need to be respected and stuff. But I don't want to leave the men out of the conversation, because like those are like those are my people. You know what I mean?
Of
Like
course.
that's my people. And
Yeah.
and while I've never really like I've never really sort of identified as like this like alpha male bro dude. Like I'm not that way, but like I feel for men who are going through things, and I feel for men who feel like they don't have an outlet or they can't express themselves, they can't be vulnerable and talk about their feelings, because we live in a society where we've been told like, no, like keep that down and keep it to yourself.
Yeah. And I think that, social media allows men to tap into that, but privately.
Yeah.
And I think what I really like about what you do when you do have moments that you're celebrating the men and you talking about positivity as fathers and husbands is it opens that door for them to be like, yeah, that's me too. And also women to forward that to their spouses, their partners, their dads, whoever in their life that's a male figure, being like, you were that for me, or like, this song reminds me of you. And
right.
I think that that's really special as well. That's okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Do I look cool?
You look cool.
Am I cool mom?
Cool mom's next. We gotta do cool mom next year for Mother's Day. There are a lot of cool dads, especially in this generation. And that kind of piggybacks off the song I did last year for Father's Day, which is Millennial Dad, which was all about, it was like this love letter, right, to millennial dads being like, we are doing it differently than our dads did.
Yeah.
Gen X was before us, and then I believe it's the boomers before them. And our parents are the boomer generation, and I know you didn't know your real dad. But you had a stepdad for many, many years. And, he's a great man. I know him well. And just like, my dad, but they're not perfect. You know what I mean? They have their flaws. They did things when we were kids that we look back on now and think, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I think, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago about this, where it's like, we are so connected and we have more resources than any generation ever has before as parents, right?
Yes.
Your kids got a cold and you don't want to give them, medication over the counter. You're like, I need an at-home remedy for an earache or for a tummy ache or for a note. You go on Instagram and you have 1,000 recipes right there at your hands in a matter of seconds, right? And they didn't have that. And so I feel like maybe our parents were just parenting anxiously and just parenting kind of like the blind leading the blind, or they were then going to their parents and being like, well, what did you do? And that was the only resource they had, where we are connected to strangers all across the internet, which is, a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the times when we were raised based off how they were raised.
Yeah.
Everything was, well, that's how my parents did it. That's how I'm going to do it. And the things that they didn't do are the exact things that they said, well, my parents did that and I didn't like that. And I think that is going to be ongoing for any generation. I don't think that'll ever stop.
Right.
I don't ever believe that there is a child or an adult that feels that my parents were 100% perfect. They did everything right, and I want to be exactly like them.
Yeah.
Because we all become individuals based not just on how we're raised, but in the real world. We all grow up and we all have real jobs and we travel, we have friends, we have influences, and we create our own, morals and thoughts, maybe different from what our parents raised, and it doesn't make it wrong or right. It just makes it different. And so then you end up wanting to raise your children slightly different or completely different than your parents did.
Yeah.
And I think something that, on the topic of like a cool dad, it's funny because I think when we were young, what either you and I, what we probably had said is a cool dad is probably so different. Like when I hear stories about your dad when you were a kid, I think he was a really cool dad.
Yeah.
Like
he was. My dad was a cool dad for sure.
He was always down to play with you. He was imaginative. He let you be who you wanted to be and have fun and be wild and do dumb shit, and didn't really, but he was also very strict and hard on you as like, we don't do that. When I was a kid, like the dads that I thought were cool were definitely the dads that, it's funny because like my stepdad was very present in my life when I was a kid. Even when my parents separated, he was still present in my life, but he wasn't like, the moment they got separated, everything changed.
For sure.
Right. So,
well, it's hard too because he was your stepdad, right? So like my parents also got divorced when I was in second grade, but he was my father. And so my dad was like, well, those are my kids. So I guess let's figure out the custody situation. And I'm not trying to say like what your stepdad did was right or wrong, but it's like when it's not actually your blood, I imagine, and I've seen so many situations where this happened where it's like deep down you tell yourself like, I know they're not my real kid, but like that's my kid, not do anything for it. But then that voice has got to be in the back of your head as a step parent to be like, it's not really my kid.
Yes. And as a step parent, I believe that thought does cross your mind. But when you enter a child's life so young, that does not cross their mind as a child.
Well, I hope not.
As a kid, you think this is my parent.
Oh, yeah, as a kid, for sure.
As a kid, you're like, this is my parent. So when the step parent has that in the back of their mind or then reacts that way, as the kid, you don't understand that. You're kind of like confused, like, but you're my dad. Like and for my circumstance, right, he came in my life so young. So like, I don't have a memory of a life without him in it.
Yeah, he was your dad.
I mean, I called him dad forever. And I mean, like, to be transparent on this conversation, we went 10 plus years without speaking. I mean, I cut him completely out of my life as an adult. And I am beyond blessed and grateful that he is back in my life after a lot of work and conversations, and our relationship is better than ever. And I'm so grateful to have him back in my life.
I agree with you that my dad was a cool dad. But you know, full transparency again here is like, my dad was a cool dad, but my dad was also like a little critical, a little judgmental, and would make comments that I look back on and I'm thinking I would never say that to my kid. And I don't think it was done with malice.
Right.
I don't think it was done with ill intent. I don't think it was done to hurt us. I think a lot of people, a lot of adults now in our generation were spoken to by parents like that.
Yes.
Where it was like, ooh, you're getting fat. Or why are you wearing that shirt? Pointing out physical appearance, picking at flaws, mocking, making fun of. And it's not to say that we shouldn't be able to handle any of that as kids, but I just feel like there's times where I look at Eliana and I'm like, there's just certain things that I would never say to her.
Yeah.
Because I know the effect it's going to have on her, and I don't want to be a parent that in 20 years my kid looks back and is like, oh yeah, when dad used to always make fun of my toes or my whatever silly thing it is that you think as a parent might be silly. But you have to understand that a kid is going to be like, why is dad or why is mom constantly picking at me about my toes, or my nose is big, or my ears are sticking out, or whatever it is, like people, or you one comment about you can't sing or you're not a very good dancer. All it takes is one comment and a kid is going to shut it down and be like, well, I'm never dancing in public ever again because my dad told me I wasn't a good dancer and I am embarrassed. And I don't ever want to, I can't fathom doing that. And again, we may not even know, like we may make a comment that's so like, just like it was a blip on the radar. We didn't even think twice about it. And they could hang on to that for the next 25, 30 years.
I actually think we did do that.
What did we do?
When she was so little, when she was like starting solids for like a year, she had the most adorable pot belly and she had so much trunk. It's everything you want in a baby.
Yeah, she was a chunky girl.
And we gave her the nickname Ellie Belly.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I having a conversation saying, I think we're getting to a place where maybe we need to stop calling her Ellie Belly because I don't want the emphasis of her thinking about her belly as like part of her identity. Only because as a woman, I am very grateful that I've never had like body image issues, but I don't ever want my child to think of those things because I know that as she gets older, she will have friends that make comments about their body and she will. It is not a matter of if. she will have a moment where she looks at herself and criticizes her own body. And I never want the nickname that we had for her be a part of her identity.
Right.
And so we changed her nickname to not be Ellie Belly anymore. And, you know, I think we did make that. I don't even want to call it a mistake, because at the time, to actually our parents' defense, we didn't know at the time when we did that it would be a thing, until we realized, like, oh, wait a second, she's going to get older. We probably shouldn't do this. We shouldn't call her Ellie Belly anymore.
Yeah.
And now we don't. And she doesn't ever talk about it. And she actually told me the other day that mommy's belly is big. And I said, it is big. I'm taller than you, so naturally it will be bigger than your belly.
Yeah, mommy's belly.
Mommy's belly is literally longer and wider than your belly. Yes, you were right. Mommy's belly is big.
Well, to put a button in that,
yeah.
Cool Dad. To all the cool dads out there, I want to wish you guys a happy Father's Day. I see you. I know that I make songs and I make comments calling out dads who are not doing their part. But I also want to make sure that I give the same respect to all the dads who are showing up every day.
Yes.
All the dads who are getting up with mom in the middle of the night for feeds, who are doing bedtime with mom, who are preparing dinner, who do bath, who can read the stories and drop the kids off to school, and just all the things that moms generally complain about in terms of like mental load. I want to give credit to the dads who are doing it right, because and not just like, oh, you're a cool dad, you're fun, you spin your kid around in the laundry basket or make forts with them out of the cardboard boxes. Like, that's, by all means, that's the epitome of a cool dad.
Yeah.
But also it's deeper than that. The cool dads who are just there for their kids all the time. I think that is cool.
It is very cool. You're a very cool dad.
Thank you.